Hey everybody, as you can see, I've got a new toy here, the S2400, and I'm going to start doing some videos here as I run into some things. And this video today is going to be on triggering this from an external sequencer. I have my Octatrack just over to the left, which you know is my beloved, and has a way better sequencer than this. You can't even do you can do micro timing and nudging, but it's a real pain. So I wanted to be able to sequence this with the Octatrack. And one of the things that hung me up a little bit is if we go into shift and pad here, we can go into the MIDI ports. And let's see here, where was it? Shift plus, whoops. Still learning the buttons here. Get out of song mode. Shift plus pad. And then I went to track channel and I set it to the MIDI channel that I want, which is 10. And then pad mode, if you want to just trigger, individual notes. I think note toggle on channel track. Anyway, I started messing around with all these settings and I thought that I had gotten it, right? You can assign the buttons and all kinds of crazy stuff. All I want to do is just trigger the note. So if I sent this a C -2, all of a sudden I wasn't getting anything. It still wasn't triggering. And I found out that some of the overarching MIDI settings are actually in the sync menu, which I thought was not intuitive. So that's what the main secret of this video here is, that you got to go in and pick whichever MIDI. I'm using the MIDI DIN on the back. You can do the USB or whatever. Go to the MIDI DIN jack, and then you got to check the boxes here. By default, this note in and velocity in are not selected. You can turn on the transport too. So we want to turn on the note in and the velocity in. That's like the big thing you got to turn on. That's the one thing I missed. And then when you go to the sample tracks map, this is actually where you can map out each individual note. So let's see, what bank are we in here? Let me get out of here. So if I want to trigger this kick, which is A1 from the sync menu, go to the sample tracks map. Actually, you scroll back, sample tracks map. We're already in there. Go to A1, select the MIDI note channel, and C1. So I'm gonna go over here to the Octatrack. And I'm gonna select C1. And right now, it's not working. I'm actually playing it right now. One of the interesting and cool features that the S2400 has is a MIDI monitor. If you hold down shift, you can scroll down to the very bottom here. Click on the MIDI monitor, and then it will tell you if it's getting MIDI data. So it actually is. It's getting from the D is the DIN port, note on, channel 10, that's the right channel, but it's getting a C2. And we have that assigned to C1. So there's something weird going on with the Octatrack where it's transposing it. Let's go back to, we want it, we want it to play a C1. And right now it should be playing a C1 on channel 10. Now, when I got stuck here, what was going on is the can't even say it. The note mode is on none. As soon as I change it to percussion, now I'm getting it. Probably can't hear it because it's off camera. I don't have audio plugged in from it. So now we are getting a trigger though. You see it flashing. So just to recap, a couple things we got to do. You got to go into that sync menu from the beginning. From there, go to the MIDI DIN jack. Make sure that you have your note in or whatever else you want. You got CC and stuff there, transport, all that stuff. have that, make sure that's selected. Then you got to go to the actual sample tracks map, go to the pad that you want, make sure it's on the MIDI note and the MIDI channel you want, and then change this to percussion if you're trying to fire drum sounds, or you can do slices, pitched, etc. So I hope that was helpful. It's definitely somewhere I got stuck. It took me a couple days to figure it out. I was trying to do everything under shift pad. You see some MIDI stuff in there, but that was not as helpful, this stuff down here. So you can see even there on MIDI note, it says none, but if I come back over here, those settings are still there. So they're both. The mode, the note number, and the channel can be accessed either from that sync menu or from shift pad and scroll down. And I had all this set right the first time, and I still wasn't getting anything. That's when I realized that I needed to go to the DEN jack and actually turn on note in. Seems kind of counterintuitive that you have it on, but I'm sure there's a reason, or an application where you'd want that off. Like right now, my notes are off. My clock out is on, but my notes are off. So you got some MIDI settings that are in these sync settings. Sync did not seem like it was a place where they would have some of these settings, but that is where it's at. And then what's neat is once you save, or once you get it set up the way you want, you can save those MIDI maps the way you have them. So let's just see, I think I saved one here. Sample tracks map. Yeah, had to open up the sample tracks file, load map file. Now I have one called Octasequence. And if I load that up, now if you look, all of my, whoops, let's scroll down so you can actually see it. Where's my MIDI? You can see that all of my sounds are assigned to MIDI note numbers, channels, and percussion. So I can just load that up in any session and then have it ready to fire from the Octatrack, which is pretty handy, or however you have it set up from your DAW or your sequencer. So hope that was helpful. I'm running into some little things and learning some things as I go along. I'll try to drop some videos. I know there's not a lot of technical tutorials on this, so hopefully it'll be helpful to somebody else. Hope you have a great day. God bless.